Welcome, everyone, to the P3 Podcast. This is the Pittsburgh Piledriver Podcast with me, Boot the Bard, baby, and...
Beef the Legend checking in.
It's your turn.
This is where Alec Ransom would introduce himself.
Oh, sorry. This is yeah. That's Alec Ransom. Well, I didn't know if you two dum-dums were finished, giving yourself WWE nicknames with, all that hullabaloo and whatnot.
No, we made up a fake one. I
figured I was just going to keep going.
No, we had a fake one from a video game. It's perfectly fine. All right, so I think we should have a little bit of an introduction to Fauntleroy here, because we did our Facebook Live broadcast feed, a little prototype of the podcast, and he made an appearance in the comments. And
John Cena shout out there with the prototype.
Oh man, I forgot all about that. That was his gimmick back in the OVW.
Sure was.
Was it in OVW that he was the prototype? Half man.
And we're off the tracks already. 2 minutes in.
No, it's
Mr. Ransom.
No, on the run sheet we got right here. We got intro. This is the intro.
And
it's all fine.
Nowhere is John Cena mentioned. Go ahead, Mr. Ransom.
Oh, sorry. I was going off of the WWE, playbook here. Anytime you can somehow mention John Cena.
That's what Lol Cena.
That'll bring us all the viewers. That'll bring us all the sponsorships. That'll bring us all the money, and then everybody will wind up hating us because it's all about John Cena.
Oh no, it's gonna be fun.
And a new shirt every year, and a brand new shirt every single year. WrestleMania, guaranteed.
Ugh.
And the best colors too. You hear those shirts before you see them.
Oh my gosh! Oh, it makes my eyes bleed.
So a little bit about Alec Ransom over here. How long you been watching wrestling?
Oh heaven, happily, I don't know. Oh, excuse me. There, two beers in, and I got the burps.
Oh boy.
What? Probably say late elementary school, so maybe fifth grades, rolling into middle school, sixth gradish. I don't know. I was early teens when I started watching. It was off and on, but I really didn't get quite hooked on it until the Shawn Michael heydays. So probably shortly after Shawn Michaels won his first WWE championship is when I really started watching.
Oh, when the boyhood dream came true, huh?
That's right. Kick that stupid whiny pile of crap Bret the whiny big baby fat Hart out of the ring.
Well then.
Yeah, we're starting on already. So I got my heel pants on. I'm ready to shit all over Bret Hart. That's gonna be my gimmick. That's gonna be my gimmick of this podcast is to shit all over Bret Hart as much as I can.
Don't worry. Whenever Bret Hart came out against Seth Rollins, saying, "Oh, he's a real dangerous worker." He injured that Irish Finn Balor fella, and he ended Sting's career. He's real unsafe. The internet has hated Bret Hart.
So here's my thing. And I promise I'm not going to do this the whole time. But here's the thing.
So run sheet aside.
Yeah, run sheet aside. Bret Hart. So I'm in favor of Bret Hart's memory up until he left that Survivor Series, whatever, 97, the screw job. That Bret Hart. He's one of the best ever. Now Bret Hart, he's a whiny old man who has little to no idea about today's product or what people want. And I think that he probably never had an idea for what people wanted. He knew what he wanted, which, great for Canada, but not great for him. So, but Canada. Regardless.
Canadian hero. Canadian zero, as far as I'm concerned.
That's kind of hurtful.
The feelings in there. Now, before
we're gonna have a rant here about Bret Hart later in this episode. I've just decided that's what.
Well, and before we jump into anything, I do want to mention, and I do want to thank our first official sponsor, which is WrestleDeals.com, which is your home for violent deals and bloody good prices. We were approached for the sponsorship by Sean Tischler, who has things up over there, and it's an exciting partnership. So we want to thank him for partnering with the Pittsburgh Piledriver Podcast over at WrestleDeals.com. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much for taking a chance on this scrappy little podcast.
Yeah, one freaking intro episode in, and he's looking to sponsor us, which is we fooled him good. So. And B, kudos to you two for putting on one hell of a great first episode. I jumped in and out as my evening was progressing there, listening to you guys, but I went back and I listened to the whole flinging flagship, and man, if they're all this good, then at least I'll be entertained. I don't know about any of these other mooks, but I'll be entertained. And then, frankly, at the end of the day, that's all I care about.
It's just like with comedy. If you can make yourself laugh, that's the most important thing.
You guys killed it. You guys killed it on that first episode. It was really good.
Oh, thank you.
People have been asking me, I've been getting, hey, when's more? When am I going to get more? So I'm hoping that maybe this thing kind of catches wildfire. And, if not, hey, we're happy to have who we have, whether it's 20 of you, whether it's 30 of you, whether it's 2 of you that listen to the podcast over and over again. Thanks for listening.
Or if it's just the 3 of us dum-dums listening to each other, then whatever.
That's fine. That's fine, too.
Well, thank you both for subscribing to the podcast.
Wait, we were supposed to do that? Anyway, let's look it on here. So we're coming up on Mania season. We're there. We're like, what, two weeks away?
Exactly 2 weeks to the day. Yes,
exactly
sir.
2 weeks away to the day. Now, we have here, there are so many wonderful WrestleMania moments and also some wonderfully terrible WrestleMania moments.
No.
What are some of your guys' favorite WrestleMania moments?
I think this is a great way to kind of foray with each other to kind of like introduce the wrestling audiences, because yes, people know Beef, people know Chuck, people know Adam, but they may not know who? We are. Whenever we're looking at wrestling. So I think this is a great way. Go ahead, Adam. Go ahead. Damn it.
Hold on.
Go ahead, Ransom.
I tell you, it's just, if this was kayfabe time, Marty Jannetty would be putting his untalented foot right down your throat.
Oh,
that's right, Marty. Yeah. I'm shitting on you. That's right. You know what? I'm gonna probably say that my all-time favorite WrestleMania moment is, and it might come to a surprise to Beef, because I'm sure he's thinking in the back of his mind, oh, he's probably about to suck off Shawn Michaels because it's a blah blah blah. It's not. It's not a Shawn Michaels match. It's a Bret Hart, oddly enough, versus Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah.
That, for me, man, I don't know if a WrestleMania match can get better than that match between Bret Hart and Steve Austin. And I'll tell you the probably my reason why is going into that match, at the very end of the match, it was a complete 180 for the both of them. Going in, Stone Cold Steve Austin was the heel. People booed him. He was the cocky, finger-throwing, beer-drinking heel, and Bret Hart was the white meat babyface. At the end of that match, Bret Hart walked out to a chorus of boos, and when Steve Austin stood up and hobbled out of that arena, he was cheered and clapped, and it was a complete 180. Man, did they tell a great story.
A double turn is always awesome whenever it's played out just right, which is what they did.
They did. If it's done right. Let's quantify that. Yes, you're 100% right. A double turn is amazing, and that double turn is the double turn that I go to. Like, that's the one.
That is
textbook. And I'll tell you why that's probably the best double turn is because it wasn't one of those deals where
it was organic.
It wasn't like it wasn't a double turn that was shoved down somebody's throat. Like, it wasn't a Seth Rollins giving a low blow to Dean Ambrose in the Shield double turn.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It wasn't like that.
Or the Nakamura to AJ Styles thing.
Oh my gosh! I don't even want to get started on.
There we go.
Constant chow mein low blows.
Fucking disappointment is what it is. Go on.
Yeah.
Anyway, go on. Continue.
As they wrestled through that match, I think with as good as Steve Austin was, and how he would never give up, and he just kept pushing, and he was bloodied and beaten down, and he just wouldn't submit. People just organically started to cheer for him, thinking, man, this is one tough son of a gun. And with Bret Hart, he keeps putting it in. The sharpshooter just keeps wrenching it in. And people didn't want to see that, It just got to a point where it was like, hey, Bret, like, let off the dude. And Steve, he didn't submit. He passed out in a pool of his own blood. And I think right there, a lot of, wrestling fans were like, damn, this is one hell of a tough son of a bitch, and he's going to do amazing things. It was after Bret won, when he came back and started kicking on Stone Cold. I think that's when it was completely solidified in he's a big whiny crybaby.
The stars just so many times in Steve Austin's career aligned perfectly, just perfectly, and that his win for King of the Ring when it was supposed to be Triple H. Yeah.
Right.
Oh,
right.
Yeah. Yep.
But what about you there, Beef?
Well, and just a note about Hart and Austin real quick.
Oh, okay.
But that match was amazing, 100%. What's weird is like the whole build-up had Austin as the heel. There was no seeds of a double turn because the whole time Austin's making it personal with Bret Hart. Austin is in a lot of times you couldn't, fault the babyface for going above and beyond after that kind of a personal attack happened.
Right.
So the fact that they did the double turn so well really speaks to both men. But as far as my favorite Mania moment, I mean, I waffle on a lot of them because there are a lot of really, really amazing things. Undertaker, Kurt Angle's matches, here's the thing. I went back and I went old school this weekend and I watched WrestleMania 3. I think the WrestleMania moment, the one that solidified WrestleMania as a thing, was whenever Hulk Hogan body slammed Andre the Giant. That is like the quintessential moment whenever and yes, I realize that Hulk Hogan was never really the underdog, but like whenever the fighting spirit of the people overcame the immovable object as it was. Like, I think that Hogan, that moment just captured the imagination of so many people. And like, to me, like anytime that they show an intro, they show either A, him and Andre going nose to nose, or B, him actually slamming Andre. So like that to me, I think is like the quintessential moment for WrestleMania.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's absolutely classic, and there's still so much mystery surrounding it because there's the debate of whether the slam was planned or Andre called it during the match.
Oh, I was not aware of that.
Yeah. There's like conflicting stories about the fact that, it was planned from the beginning. Was Andre actually going to let Hogan go over? Because Andre was one of and you hear guys say that with Andre back in the day, if Andre didn't want to put you over or didn't want to cooperate, there's no way you were going to make him. You know what I mean?
He was a mountain of a man.
Yeah.
What are you going to do against Andre the Giant if he doesn't want to go with you? If he doesn't want to sell? If he doesn't want to give if he doesn't want to work with you, what are you going to do? Nothing.
Yeah, it's not one of those things where, it's Jeff Hardy comes to the ring all doped up and Sting manhandles him and
right.
handles business. It's not that.
What a low point.
Andre.
What a low point in the industry, side note.
Yep.
Good Lord.
But yeah, no, Andre, if he comes to the ring and he doesn't want to do business with you, he's going to make you look like a fool, and you can't do anything about it. Aside from taking a knife out and stabbing him, and even I don't think that would do anything.
No, but so that's the thing is that, and there was also, I think it was Hogan said in his book, he said that Andre, during the match, said, "All right, slam me, boss." You know what he called everybody boss. He said, "Slam me." You know what I mean?
Yikes.
And yeah, so I mean, there's that. My favorite Mania moment, there are two that I thought about. And one of the one that I think I'll mention, one of the runner up for me was gonna be Owen versus Brett as the opening match at WrestleMania 10.
Yeah,
that was a clinic. And if Owen had not won that match, his career probably would have died there. He would have just been undercard, midcard. He would have just been Bret Hart's brother. I
agree. You're right.
There wouldn't have been anything else he would have done. And then you could make the argument that, if that would have happened, it might not have led to his untimely death. You know what I mean? But again, that is what pushed him over as a legitimate star in the eyes of the fans. He was always better. In my opinion, I like watching Owen matches sometimes better than Bret Hart matches. I mean, Bret Hart, admittedly,
Owen was a better storyteller. Owen was a better storyteller. I love Bret in the ring. He is the tactician, but I think Owen held the match better than Bret did for the most part.
But now for me, the one that really pops out in my mind, I fell out of wrestling for a long time, so there was a lot that I missed. But for me, in recent memory, one of the best moments, and Beef, you can probably call it exactly which one. I'm bad at remembering exactly which WrestleManias are which, but it was after the match. It was Reigns versus Lesnar, and right after that, you hear Seth Rollins' music hit.
Oh, 31.
Oh, cashing in. Dude, goosebumps. Absolute goosebumps. He comes down, gets that belt, starts swinging it around, standing strong and tall at the end of that Mania.
Michael Cole with the best line ever. The heist of the century. What a great. I mean, you know what? It's not very often that I'll defend Michael Cole because I think he's a company shill. But I think that line is another iconic line. The heist of the century. What a great line.
And in that moment, still, I thought about it and I got goosebumps. That place, when Rollins' music hit, it came unglued. that place just blew up, and you knew you were getting what you wanted. There was no way they were going to send Rollins out there and have him fail at a cash-in.
To be fair, though, the alternative was Lesnar or Reigns, and like Lesnar, the heel, was getting over. That was the precipice of that was the genesis of Suplex City. Was the fact that they Suplex City, bitch. The fans loved it because they hated Reigns, and they probably still hate Reigns, but that's neither nor there. But yeah, no, it's that.
Everyone... Once the Shield is completely gone, you'll see the hate for Roman Reigns come back out.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Unfortunately, that's what's going to happen.
Well, I think honestly, right now with them pulling the curtain back on Reigns and having people see how much of a locker room leader he is, and it's not just puffery, it's not just whatever. It's genuine. Like the man is like, he has the best intentions for the business. He goes out there no matter what and does his best. And I'll tell you what. You give him all the shit in the world you want, the man can put on a match.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he puts on a great match.
And he's super charismatic, and he can carry the brand. If you go back and watch, and I want to apologize to the viewers, my voice is not what it is because I was rocking out a little bit too hard last night. But if you go back and watch some of the old quote unquote Royal Rumbles from like right around that time, WrestleMania 30, 31, etc. Like when the year that in Pittsburgh where Daniel Bryan should have come out and Daniel Bryan should have won and he didn't, the crowd was 100% behind Roman Reigns. They wanted to, and he was over huge. And I was like, okay, you know what? They're doing something good, but the problem is they failed to capitalize on it then and there, and they let it gestate for like 6 months, and then they forced it down your throats. If they would have ran with that right then and there, and if they would have put Roman Reigns over then and there, I think that it's a completely different story for Roman Reigns.
Who took that Rumble?
That
was the year Batista came back?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
No, it was Batista.
That was Batista. Yep.
Because he was supposed to come back to a thunderous ovation, and because he was not Bryan. Like
that's right. That's right. The crowd shit all over him because they wanted Daniel Bryan.
Poor fucking Rey Mysterio. Like Rey Mysterio did nothing wrong. That was like that was his last match in WWE till his most recent return, and they just ate him alive because they wanted Daniel Bryan number 30.
They picked the wrong city to do that in. They did.
I don't necessarily know if it's the cities anymore. I think there were rowdy cities back in the day, but I think anymore, if the WWE does something that really, really displeases the WWE universe, and I say that, and every time I say that, I cringe because I think that's the dumbest saying in the world. But anytime they do something that displeases the WWE universe, people let them know now. I think in the past, there would be some smatterings of boos and things like that, but nowadays there's thunderous boos, there's random chants. People start chanting for JBL and Michael Cole and CM Punk, who aren't even, in wrestling. I think it's to the point where it's like the WWE, and I feel like, it's a double-edged sword. Like the WWE, they want to do what they think is best for their company, but at the same time, I feel like a lot of the times they're ignoring what people really want to see. Because the crowd lets them know what they want to see, and I think sometimes, sure, WWE should go, you know what? Probably the people want to see this, but that's not in the best interest of our company. But at other times, WWE should stand up and recognize, you know what? Daniel Bryan got himself over. The crowd loves him. We're throwing Batista and Randy Orton and Mysterio at the crowd.
I think it's
what's that going to do?
I think it's part and parcel of two things. Number one, the reason that you say that there's no more like super hot like cities like there was back, rowdy cities like there was back in the day, is the advent of social media and the fact that kayfabe is dead.
Let me butt in here real quick.
I think more cities are rowdy nowadays than before.
Yes,
whereas before you would have Chicago or Pittsburgh or Madison Square Garden. Those would be like your rowdy places. I think everywhere is rowdy.
And I have an example to cite that will prove this wrong. If you go back, the night that they brought Gargano and Ciampa and Black and Ricochet up from the from NXT, they were in like Tennessee or like Iowa or Idaho or Arkansas or something, and it like they were good matches. It was a great night of Raw, which is very rare anymore, and it sounded like the fans just weren't even there. So I think that there still are, for me, for my money, Pittsburgh, Philly, New York, Chicago, and like the West Coast are always going to be hotbeds.
Well, what West Coast is hot because that's where a lot of the indie scene is out there now. Like that's really a hotbed.
Shout out to my boy Super Dragon.
There you go. Well, you know what? Let's move on to something a little more positive here. I think really something a little bit more positive here. Well, listen, you can heal up on stuff, but I beg you to heal up on this. So according here, I have NBC.com, WCHM Columbus here as the source. WWE donated $1 million to UPMC charity Children's Hospital of Pittsburgh. And it says here, quote from the article, a ribbon cutting ceremony was held last week at UPMC's Children's Hospital, Pittsburgh. It comes after a $1 million donation from the WWE, represented by Chief Branding Officer Stephanie McMahon and her husband, Executive Vice President Paul Triple H Levesque. The gift from WWE established the family-centered MIBG therapy suite at the Children's Hospital. They treat, it says here, they treat high-risk neuroblastoma, which is an aggressive cancer of the nerve cells that quickly spreads and affects mostly children under the age of 5. So that was something that was really, really cool to see that they're really reaching out and trying to make a difference.
And we will cut on WWE a lot.
All day long.
And fans of our podcast, and yes, hopefully we will have fans now. Will probably be in agreement with us that there's a lot of things that WWE does wrong, booking wise, putting people over, etc. But no one, to my money, no one can besmirch what they're doing, philanthropy wise, with donations like this. With the Make-A-Wish stuff that Cena and Reigns do. I think The Miz has done some Make-A-Wish stuff. Like, these guys, and, like, you watching they had a segment on Raw about, like, Reigns and Balor and Rollins and all visiting the Children's Hospital. And you can see their eyes light up, and the wrestlers love it, and the kids love it, and it's great. Like, that, to me, is the crux of what wrestling can do. Is it can uplift those kids who have, not a lot of hope in the world, to be frank, and it can really make them just, for a day, for a week, for a month, forget about what they're going through and realize that they, that these superstars, these larger than life people they see on TV have taken time out of their day to come. And I mean, it's just awesome. Like that kind of thing is just amazing to me.
Yeah, WWE really, as much as they portray bad guys on TV, and I know that's their job to do it, and damn it all, Triple H and Stephanie can really, really portray some hateful people, back in the Authority days and things like that. But
even now,
the things that they do to donate their time and their money to people in need, I have all the respect in the world for Triple H, and I have all the respect in the world for Stephanie and, the WWE in general for giving the money, and having all these superstars go and donate their time. And I think you're right. The kids' eyes, my goodness, to see the joy on their faces, because it takes away from some of the terrible darkness that they go through on a daily basis. To see some of the larger than life, some of these heroes, come in and visit them is really an amazing thing. And, I can't say enough good things about the WWE and the WWE employees that do that for those kids. I mean, good on them.
Yeah.
And I'll make a point here as well. As much as we may, run down WWE and Vince and their bookers and everything else, the thing you got to remember is WWE is number one in the world, not just America, in the world. I'm talking, New Japan has a great product, but guess what? They're not an international product. Ring of Honor is, great, but it ain't nowhere near the level. All elite wrestling.
Oh, try again.
About them. Yeah, no, right? Third time the charm. Say what you will about them, and I'm excited for their product, but I mean, the fact is, they're not going to be on WWE level for probably a long time.
Fun fact: did you hear that they are filing for the copyrights for what was it, Bash at the Beach?
I did not.
I think
That's interesting.
It's Bash at the Beach.
Freaking-tastic.
Bash at the Beach or Starrcade. It's one of the two. It's a whole bunch of stuff that was like WWC or WCW. Got it. WCW related. That Cody, and when Cody was asked about this, it was a whole bunch of stuff. You can go look it up. But when Cody was asked about it, he said, "I'm just trying to get back my father's legacy," and blah 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 blah. And you kind of go, "Are you though?" Because I really don't think you should be likening, because people are already likening them to WCW, and I don't think that it would be prudent to brand your new product, up and coming product, saying that you're different. You have all these wonderful stars coming in. I mean, the Lucha Brothers alone, I got hyped for. You know what I mean? Ray Phoenix and Pentagon Jr. I'm so excited for them to be in there. But like, you have this wonderful roster of people. You have all this great stuff. Do not sully it with ghosts of the past. You do not need to run your product off of former glories. Make new, how you're going to make money and how you're actually going to be competitive and take a stand to make the wrestling world more viable, going, oh, you don't have to go to WWE to be successful and really draw out a career. You need to just forge ahead with your own product, your own ideas, and use the talent that is there well.
Yes.
Two things though. One, Bash the Beach specifically, like the events that WCW did well were Bash the Beach and Halloween Havoc. People look forward to those two events more than pretty much anything else at Starrcade.
Now I want to before you continue, I don't mean to interrupt you. I'm prefacing this. I'm pretty sure it was Bash at the Beach and Starrcade. It might have just been Starrcade. I just wanted to preface that. Go ahead.
Well, I would actually believe that it probably wouldn't be Starrcade because WWE actually still runs Starrcade. They just run it as a house show.
No, they ran Starrcade
for the last 2 years.
Oh, have they done it 2 years?
Yes, sir.
Why is it a house show?
Who knows? It's not even a recorded network special. That's what bugs me. Like, I don't care if you want to make it a full-fledged pay-per-view. You can make it a network special.
Let me chime in and give my opinion as to why it's a house show.
Go ahead.
Because Starrcade was the Wrestlemania of WCW.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's still that little bit of, I don't know the man. And I frankly probably would be a little bit afraid to know him. But I want to say that there's maybe that's still there, that little bit of gotcha coming out of Vince McMahon to WCW or Ted Turner and whoever else was involved in it, and he says to himself, you know what, I'm going to take their WrestleMania and I'm going to make it a house show. Suck on that.
Speaking of,
I don't know if that's true, but I could see that being the reason why it's not an actual pay-per-view or a WWE Network special or something like that. I could see that being the reason why. I don't know.
And going back to your initial point, Poot, that about Cody Rhodes and invoking WCW, I don't think he's necessarily invoking WCW as he is invoking his father. And you can say what you will about that. Dusty Rhodes, obviously a legend, one of the greatest that ever lived, and probably one of the best stick men out there. But I mean, if you're the son of Dusty Rhodes, how do you not use that and market it? So I get that, anytime that he can use that liaison, it's smart. And like I said, if that's if we're talking the ones that were if we're talking about like Super Brawl or like Sin or Greed or any of those other new ones that they had, like it's stupid and why do that? But if we're talking about like the ones or like like Clash of the Champions or Bash at the Beach or Halloween Havoc, like those are fan clamored ones. Why doesn't WWE do Halloween Havoc? Everybody asks that all the time. Why not? So I get it.
That is true. Well,
I think it's probably because and this is all going off of excuse me. This is all going off of speculation.
You fighting potato chips over there?
Yeah.
No, I was crushing water bottle. It's all good.
Go for her crucifix pin.
Freaking Jumbo, I tell you, some of them never. Yeah, that's what you hear on most professional podcasters, or
That was quite the letdown. Speaking of letdowns, Speaking of letdowns, we got a little thing on here that we're gonna call Beef's Legendary Letdowns. Beef the Legend, Legendary Letdowns.
Yeah, lay it on us.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. Okay, so I'm going to be perceived as the negative guy. Like Adam's probably going to be the heel guy, the dick ass, whatever. Ransom.
Who am I?
Whoa.
Anyway, he's going to be perceived as the the heel guy, and Poot's going to be like the guy who's for the most you have a bright and sunny disposition, Poot.
Yeah, well.
Good for you. I'm the guy who's going to be like, why is this guy always tearing down everything? So I figured, why not run with it? And we're going to do a segment called Beef's Legendary Letdowns on the podcast. The first one, and I wanted to mention this earlier, but I forgot. So, noting that this is happening on Sunday, March 24th, before Raw and SmackDown this week, my legendary letdown to start with is Kurt Angle's last opponent.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, right?
I still say it's a work.
I'm fairly certain this is a WWE Universe letdown.
Baron fucking Corbin. Now, here's the thing. I was a big outspoken guy against Corbin for a long time. I thought that he had, like, the worst dad bod in the industry, and his stomach looked like an upset person.
Saddest
like
torso in the business.
It was so, and I mean, God bless him. He's worked his ass off. He's gotten cut. He's doing better on the mic. He's doing better in the ring.
Now you say that, but he's been wearing that outfit simply to hide his sad, morose stomach.
Well, or it's the same reason that they keep Big Show off of the show every 2 years, so that he can lose a bunch of weight and come back and like, oh my God, look at Big Show. He's like half of him former self. But regardless,
wow.
So I like
shitting on Big Show hour.
That's its own podcast. Now let me tell you. But so Corbin, I'm a fan of the guy. I dig the entrance music. I dig the finisher. I dig him. I don't think that this is the right opponent for Kurt Angle. Reportedly, we obviously are, big time dirt sheet readers, all of us, so we don't know what the real story is. But reportedly, Kurt Angle wanted something bigger and better, something with more like pizzazz. Because Baron Corbin, when he wins, and he will win, because remember, in wrestling,
you go out on your
back.
Last
match, you go out on your back. So when Baron Corbin wins, that's going to go over like a fart in church. It's going to just be the worst. Yeah. Now, I will come back and boomerang, and I will let you guys talk, I promise. But I'm going to boomerang it and say, right after I come up with this topic, I read online that it's reported. So two things. Uncle Dave Meltzer, is saying that it's 100% in point, that it is in stone, that it's happening. Dave's got a lot of inside track. He knows what he's talking about for the most part. But I've also read reports that because of the negative backlash on this, that they are reconsidering. There are 2 weeks until WrestleMania. And like in my mind, I've always kind of thought the thing was solidified for WrestleMania like months ahead of time. But going back and watching some previous Manias, they'll show the recap videos. Things really don't shore up until like the last week or so. So realistically, they could definitely put in time. And I think for me, and again, you guys can chime in as well, but for my pick, it's John Cena. No one works as hard as John Cena. No one gets over like Cena does, and I think that he's the guy to do it. Discuss.
Nothing against John Cena. Lord knows I've had my rantings on this man. But I think, I don't know. If it were someone like The Undertaker, fine, have his last match be against John Cena. Or if it's somebody like, a Stone Cold Steve Austin or a Rock or somebody, fine. But Kurt Angle is one hell of a masterful technician in the ring. And for me, to have Kurt Angle's last match, as technical and as great as Kurt Angle is against a brawler or a bruiser or, a guy who throws punches, I think that is a tremendous waste, and to touch back on throwback on something that you guys said before. If I could book my dream match in history in the WWE, I would have to say that my dream match would probably be Kurt Angle versus Owen Hart.
Yeah.
As amazing as those two men
that is
were in the ring technically, I would lose my mind to see a Kurt Angle versus an Owen Hart. That would be probably one of the best. I don't know if anybody would be ever able to top it. And I don't know who in the WWE at this point in time is as good technically as a technical wrestler as a Kurt Angle?
Chad Gable.
Oh my lord, that jamoke has been passed back and forth.
I love Gable. I love Gable. Wow. I love Gable. And I love American Alpha.
He's tagging with Kurt Angle Jr. Then he's tagging with Shelton Benjamin. Then he's tagging with some other schmuck. Now, pretty soon he's going to be tagging with some other muckety-muck. Good lord.
Well, here's the thing.
He's the tag team ginger ale of WWE. He is. Pair him with whoever.
I agree, Chuck. Gable, but he's not gonna. That's a step down from Baron Corbin. Let me bring it to this. If we're talking on the marquee, who do you want to see? Yes, you're right. John Cena may not be the biggest match, but the most efficient, technically sound match, but it's gonna be a big match.
Okay.
It would be a big name match as far as in-ring glory goes. No, I wholeheartedly disagree that would be a big match. Cena can throw down. Yeah. Cena can do punches
and a Canadian destroyer.
Fisherman suplex.
He can do a Canadian destroyer.
Cena can cross his heart and give himself crossed fingers in the Canadian destroyer. Frankly, if I was Kurt Angle and John Cena called it in the ring, Canadian destroyer, my response from Kurt Angle would be,
hell no, yeah, right.
Well, sir, my neck has been broken 800 times. It's not going to be 801.
No, see.
All right, Ransom. So who you calling? Who does Alec Ransom want to see as Kurt Angle's final opponent on WrestleMania 35 2 weeks from now?
I don't know. As far as
easy, Uncle Jesse.
Have mercy. Listen, the Coronas are hitting me hard here.
Elvis.
Jagoffs. I don't know. I would like to see somebody who has good in ring. Not good, because I'm not saying that John Cena is not good in the ring. I'm just saying that somebody that's got more technical skills in the ring. Somebody like an AJ Styles or a Samoa Joe. Not Nakamura, because it would just be a match full of kicking in the face and punching in the PPs, as far as Shinsuke Nakamura is concerned.
We'll see.
But somebody that it can be a wrestling, not like amateur wrestling, but I don't know. I don't want to see a JBL versus a.
Uh-oh. Did he just stroke out?
He may have.
Okay, now hold on. You know who would be really good? Now, here's the thing. I'm not thinking from a star power marquee standpoint, because you put any of these guys that I'm going to mention, either one of these guys in the match, yeah, okay. On the marquee, the thing that's going to draw is Kurt Angle retirement, but it would give you a match that would absolutely wreck house. Actually, 3 guys. You do Chad Gable.
No.
Sheldon Benjamin.
No.
Or up and comer, and it would give the big rub to him, Mustafa Ali.
All right.
So okay, I got the best one.
Chad Gable, no, because Chad Gable is the seltzer water of wrestling. He's a tag team. Somebody needs something to do. What do we got to do with him? I don't know. Let's tag team him up with Chad Gable. Put a stupid copper looking belt on him. Who cares? That's Chad Gable. Sheldon Benjamin is one of those things where it's like, yeah, what are they going to do?
He was great 20 years ago. See, here's the thing, though. You want to give that rub to a guy. Yeah.
Why Sheldon Benjamin? If you could spin it into some sort of an angle with Sheldon Benjamin, fine. Technically, I bet they would put on an amazing match. If you could spin it into something to say, I don't know, Sheldon Benjamin comes out and attacks Kurt Angle and says, you got to face off against Baron Corbin. Why not face off against me? I was part of the world's greatest tag team. I was Team Angle. You left me in the dust. You left me to flounder. Look where it got me. I got buried. I got fired. Now I'm back here and I'm teaming with this dummy, stupid, Gable. If they could spin that into some sort of storyline, fine.
And by the way, Chad Gable, the heel and Chad Gable, if you are listening, that is at Triforce Ransom. At Triforce Ransom. Put your vitriol towards him. The other two of us, we support it.
No, that's fine. Who are you talking about? Chad Gable?
Yeah. If he somehow hears this,
Mr. Gable, freaking send me PM me. Follow me on Twitter or Facebook. I don't know how Twitter works. Whatever. I created a new Twitter for this stupid podcast. I don't twit. I don't twat. Oh, wait.
We had that. You have 2 kids. Yes, you indeed twat.
I'll give you my address, Chad Gable. I'll spray some lime and some gin on you, and I'll throw you back like a gin and tonic.
Oh, wow. All right.
But listen,
anyway,
Mustafa Ali, fine. That would be a proper passing of the torch. They could put on an amazing in-ring match, and then at the final end, if Mustafa goes over on Kurt Angle, it could be one of those things where Kurt gets up, shakes his hand, holds his hand in the air, gives him a big hug, talks to him a little bit in the ring, off mic, kind of passes the torch to him, and that solidifies him as the next main guy. People look at him and go, "Ha, this guy's going to be something." He's the one that beat Kurt Angle. He was Kurt Angle's last match. Let's watch him. I'd be completely fine with that.
R-Truth.
Well, and I know. Oh my God, get out of here!
I'm done. This is the P2 podcast. I'm out.
I know that we need that we need to be getting on to the next topic. But I'll say this: Mustafa Ali would be a good pick. Here's the one that I think is the most, to me, would make the most sense. Would be Johnny freaking Gargano.
Johnny Gargano would be a great choice.
You have a guy who could put on a technical masterpiece in the ring. You have a guy who, since they brought him up to the main roster, hasn't done anything because Ciampa got hurt. You have a guy who could use that huge rub and giving Kurt Angle his last, loss. That makes sense to me.
All right. Well,
I think they would. I agree with you. I think they would put on an amazing in-ring match. And at that point in time, you don't need to have, a big back and forth build up on the microphone, because if you have an amazing match, talking, you don't really need it. I'd be all about seeing Johnny Gargano go against Kurt Angle. That would probably be amazing.
Speaking and segueing from Gargano, let's talk about NXT.
All right, let me go. You want me to go over the card?
Well, yeah.
Please.
Before we get to that, we're this episode's gonna be NXT heavy and G1 heavy because of the live show coming up on Saturday, April the 6th. At 4 p.m. On Facebook Live. Check us out. I'll even try to Periscope it if I can try and do that. But hey, again, the live show, April the 6th, 4 p.m. Catch us live.
Get to see my ugly mug in person.
The reason that we're that we're doing NXT and the G1 is because we want to get these predictions out there so that we can keep track and make fun of the loser, whoever that's going to be, Poot the Bard. So go ahead, Poot. Go over that card.
All right.
I have no idea what's happening on G1, so I have a feeling it's probably going to be me.
I was going to say I'm a little behind on G1 as well, so we're going to have Beef the Legend lead the charge in that one. So blind leading the blind.
Let's do Takeover first.
All right, so let's take care of Takeover here. NXT Takeover New York. It's going to be happening on Friday, which again, I think that's a little bit of a dumb decision, but that's regardless of here. So the matches that we have right now, we have.
Is that because of the Hall of Fame?
That's going to be on Saturday.
I'll talk about that later.
Oh, yeah.
We're jumping ahead a little bit, but I promise you, I will get to why I think NXT is on Friday night. But go ahead.
Okay.
Okay.
So here we go. Here's the card that we have so far. We've got the NXT Tag Team Champion match. That's going to be War Raiders, Hanson and Rowe versus, as Beef so perfectly called them, Black Skies, Aleister Black and Ricochet. So that's going to be a pretty great team. I'm going to give you the other matches. We'll go through real quick, talk about each one. The next one is Pete Dunne, the bruiserweight himself, whose shirt I'm wearing right now. You can't see that. Versus Walter. I can't wait. Pete Dunne's going to look like hamburger after that. My God. Adam, you have never seen Walter, have you?
No, I have not.
Oh, my God. You are going to love Walter. All right. Johnny Gargano versus Adam Cole, baby. 2 out of 3 falls for the NXT Championship. Oh, by the way, the Pete Dunne-Walter match, that's going to be for the WWE United Kingdom Championship. So, again, Johnny Gargano versus Adam Cole, baby. 2 out of 3 falls match for the vacant NXT Championship left by Tommaso Ciampa, who, had to vacate the belt due to injuries. And I'm going to keep going, but my pick for match of the night. Velveteen Dream versus Matt Riddle, the ultimate bro, or the original bro, whatever they want to call him, King of Bros, for the NXT North American Championship, and Shayna Baszler versus Io Shirai, Bianca Belair, and Kairi Sane, fatal 4-way match for the NXT Women's Championship. Let's start with the Tag Team Championship match. NXT Tag Team Champions, War Raiders versus Aleister Black and Ricochet. This one, and Beef pointed out to me a while ago.
Who is zipping something?
What?
Brock, you guys can pick that up, son of a bitch. Sorry.
What do you do?
Put your book bag away, preschooler.
You gonna get out your Trapper Keeper? All right, I gotta look up stats here. There's little flowers and little cartoon Triple H's giving pedigrees.
That boy.
Let's see. But War Raiders versus Aleister Black and Ricochet. This is the other match that has the chance to be match of the night. Because as Beefsto pointed out on NXT takeovers, the tag team championship matches and also other tag team matches usually steal the show. And this looks like it's going to be opening things up.
Yeah, let me just use that as a...
That sounded like that was like a sound effect. It didn't even sound like a burp. It didn't sound like a burp. It sounded.
That's what happens when you.
God,
that's what happens when you Pittsburgh Piledrive somebody.
Oh.
That's that sound right there. I have no idea what it is with NXT and their tag team matches at their takeovers, but confound it all, I find myself gasping more at an NXT takeover tag team match than I ever did at any of the Ric Flair matches when he would take a back body drop, which I always gasped at because I was convinced that was going to be his end.
Right on his tail. By the way,
right on the head. One of those times Flair's going to go over and then kaplowy, his entire neck just turns to jello.
Kaplowy.
Yeah, but they are phenomenal. Any NXT oh dear heavens, the Coronas. Any NXT takeover, I mean, really, who says that? NXT takeover tag team match. Goosh. They're ridiculous. I mean, they usually blow away every single match at the actual WWE pay-per-view that follows.
Oh, that's the thing is that NXT takeovers, they set the bar as high as they possibly can, and they look at WrestleMania, the Royal Rumble, SummerSlam, anything, and they say beat that. And like
I am so much more entertained at most NXT takeovers. Most NXT takeovers are better than the actual WWE pay-per-views as far as entertainment value goes.
You're more sports entertained.
The shit they do on NXT, the amazing matches that they have. Holy crap! They just blow the regular WWE pay-per-view matches out of the water every freaking time.
And especially with in this one, War Raiders, Hanson and Rowe, they're guys that are built like me and Beef that can move like cruiserweights, and they're going up against Aleister Black and Ricochet who do move like cruiserweights.
This past NXT takeover, I think it was this past NXT takeover, was the first time I ever saw the War Raiders. And I don't know that my mouth was closed the whole match. Like my mouth was agog the whole friggin' match. I don't understand how men their size move like they do. It's unnatural.
You're not wrong.
I was flabbergasted at the amount of aerial moves that they did and how the Coronas and thinking of that match is really putting me into
a tizzy.
That match is going to be ridiculously phenomenal.
And I'm going to echo the sentiments here. I'm not going to repeat everything because you guys are right. NXT tag team matches are usually the match to watch. Now, I mean, all credit to NXT Heavyweight Championship matches and the North American title and the women's, but usually I enjoy the tag team matches more. So that being said, I have waffled on who's going to win this so much because I'm of two thoughts. One, and this is not a Beef the Legend original thought. Somebody mentioned this in one of the groups I was on for Facebook. That it makes sense, especially with what they're doing with Black and Ricochet, Black Skies trademark. I just kidding. It makes sense. It would be awesome to see them unify all three brands' tag team belts, have them win NXT on Friday night, have them beat the Usos at Mania, and then have them beat the Revival at Mania. I think that'd be awesome.
I don't see
it happening.
No,
That being said, you have two guys here. So if they go that route, But that being said, you have two guys who are heading to the main roster, or who are on the main roster, who are weekly features, versus two guys who are incredible, who just started their run, not 2 months ago. I'm picking the War Raiders.
I am also going to go with War Raiders because they're on a really good tear right now, and there's a lot of great tag teams down in NXT. I think they need to keep those belts there. There shouldn't be a unification. Let the War Raiders have those. Let Hanson and Rowe run roughshod and just kind of build up more of their brand in NXT. Call them up even at SummerSlam time if you want to be that quick about it, but let them kind of stew a little bit. What do you think there, Ransom?
To be honest, I can't pick between the two as far as who's going to take the belts. And this is going to sound like a WWE Universe answer coming up. So, strap in and brace yourselves. But as far as whoever the winner is going to be, it's going to be the WWE Universe. I don't care who walks away with the belts. The match is going to be ridiculous. The match is going to be phenomenal. And whoever wins, I'm fine with. Good. Because the match itself is going to just blow us away.
That's a good enough answer for me, man. That's a pretty good one. Now, let's move on to the WWE United Kingdom Championship. Pete Dunne versus Walter. Now the thing here is I've been watching a lot of NXT UK, and it is a lot of fun. It is a whole different atmosphere over there with the crowds, the way that the talent works. You should check it out, especially Pete Dunne's held that belt for how long? 600 some days?
He is the longest current reigning WWE champion that they have
ever.
Currently.
And the
Yikes.
thing is,
not ever. No, not ever. Currently, of their current champions, brand wide, no one has held the belt as long as him, or held a belt as long as him currently.
And Pete Dunne has proven and made himself like a credible threat to have held it that long. You know what I mean? But Walter, Adam.
Yes.
I broke kayfabe again. All right.
I'm done with this podcast and you two unprofessional jamokes.
All right, get out of here. Only guy drinking during the podcast.
All
right,
get out of here.
No.
Sorry, Mr. Bungo. What a buzzkill.
Oh, that's all right. People can know my name. I don't care. No. So
care about you.
I want you to do me a favor. I want you to go on. I want you to go and Google real quick. I want you to type in Walter Wrestler Chop.
Okay.
That's what I want you to do. And I want you to go to images. And I want you to see what Walter does to people. Give him a second. While we're talking about this.
How do you spell that?
Walter. It's German. Walter.
Chop, you said?
Yeah, chop. His chops.
Oh, I put chalk. That's not
right.
Oh
no, Walter Chalk.
Walter Chalk. Draw it on the sidewalk.
Oh Lord.
No, check out my rhymes.
Go ahead and look up Walter Wrestler.
Oh my Lord.
Right? That man.
That's not even funny.
That man.
Oh dear God.
That
That's
man
terrible.
is that man is the only man who has taken that belt off of Pete Dunne. Walter,
he chopped this dude's areola off. It flew into the crowd.
Dude, I'm telling you
Holy
something.
crap.
Beef, have you seen this?
Oh, I've seen it.
Oh
yes,
God,
sir.
he turns
Walter
people.
chops the life out of Zack Sabre Jr.
He will chop the soul out of Pete Dunne and take that belt. The end.
Yikes! Holy crap! My chest hurts from watching these videos. That's
dude,
how bad
so
it is.
I want to dissent just to create a little bit of a differential here. But I gotta tell you, man, with as big of a star as Walter is, with as long as the reign as Pete Dunne has had, I have a hard time seeing Pete Dunne walk out with the title. Plus, I don't see him doing the bitter end to Walter. So
no.
I too will pick Walter for the UK title.
Now, after seeing those pictures there, Ransom, what do you think?
No, I mean, if you think about it, if Pete Dunne beats Walter, what's next then?
Yep,
It'll also ruin Walter as a credible heel or a credible monster. I mean,
so my thing is that I don't see Pete Dunne winning because where do they go after that?
Exactly. And like I said, not even where does Pete Dunne go? Where does Walter go?
Well, yeah.
Plus, as they say, boys, the money's in the chase. I love Pete Dunne. He's a great guy, and I love his style. But I mean, he's become a little bit stale as the champ. If Walter beats him, and I want this match to be the match of the weekend, and I think it could be. but I think it may actually end up being Walter absolutely dominating him, like circa Brock Lesnar v. Cena at SummerSlam a couple years ago.
Oh.
I think it could be a domination match where Pete Dunne has to like prove himself again, and eventually NXT Brooklyn 4 maybe this summer where he comes back and beats Walter.
I think if Pete Dunne loses, when Pete Dunne loses that belt to Walter, what's going to happen is Pete Dunne's going to go to NXT proper, or he's going to get called up.
That makes sense too.
The end.
Yeah.
And then Walter's just going to lord over NXT UK for like a year, maybe 2 years, and then go over there.
So
Walter also, I can't remember the name of the organization in Germany that he actually owns. It's part owner, but the reason why the WWE came knocking on his door to bring him up to NXT proper or to the main roster, and he said no multiple times because he didn't want to be away from his family, and he didn't want to be away from his wrestling organization he has over there. So when they started NXT UK, Walter was more apt to do it and to sign on because, you know, he can go in for tapings and fly back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't even know if Walter's going to, I mean, they would have to probably, for him, just as a man standing on his principles, they'd have to throw all the money in the universe at him to go tour, 300 days a year.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So, but I think this one's pretty cut and dry. I think Walter's walking out with that title.
I agree.
I would have to agree with that. Yeah. 100%.
Now this next...
So let's look at the North American title match. Yeah, let's jump ahead because
where I feel like WWE proper or main roster, whatever you want to call it, I feel like if we have conversations like this, like, well, where do these guys go if this guy wins and that guy doesn't? I feel like with NXT, I'm confident that if Pete Dunne wins, everything will be okay.
Yep.
They'll find a place for Pete. They'll find an opponent for Pete Dunne. They'll find something for Walter. I think it'll be fine because I don't think that NXT. I don't fear NXT what's next like I do WWE what's next.
All right,
maybe that's just because Triple H is in charge. I don't know. Who knows?
That could be. But like Beef said, let's move on to the NXT North American Championship. Here, Velveteen Dream versus Matt Riddle. This one's hard to call because Dream is really on a tear and is really over, and people love Matt Riddle. And Dream's not had that belt very long.
Yeah, I'm pretty. I don't know if confident is the right word, but I'm comfortable calling Velveteen Dream for this one.
100% agree. But it's Dream, and I mean this match will surprise some people because I think it's going to be a really. I mean, this whole card's going to be amazing, but this match could be really good too. But I think that it's too early for Dream to be taking a loss. You could say the same thing about Riddle because he has come in with a big pop. But I mean, here's the thing: Dream is super over, and both guys are super over. So it's gonna be a fun match to watch. But I'm taking Dream.
Yeah.
You know what the thing that I really like about Matt Riddle is that he can go from laid back, chilled, bro, to like flipping the switch in an instant, being super intense UFC fighter who could just rip you apart.
Oh, he's awesome.
But Matt Riddle is outstanding, and he'll have his time to shine. And I think, not that the North American Championship is anything to kind of, shake a stick at or anything like that, but I think there's bigger things for Matt Riddle down the road. So I'm going to go with you guys. I'm going to say Dream walks out with this belt as well.
I'm sorry. I just want to interrupt here real quick. And I know this doesn't have anything to do with NXT, but I'm going to voice my disgust and displeasure with something right now. Jay Aleto from PWP Nation just posted 10 minutes ago. Angles versus Styles will happen one final time on SmackDown Live. Can I just ask the question, why in God's green earth are we having AJ Styles versus Kurt Angle on a SmackDown? If AJ Styles versus Kurt Angle happens on a SmackDown and Kurt Angle versus Baron Dum Dum happens at WrestleMania, I'm probably going to throw my shoe at the television.
So I think, honestly, that's probably a way to placate the fans. It's probably a way of saying, hey, we're sorry that we're giving you a shitty WrestleMania opponent, but here's a really good match you're going to see on SmackDown.
But that's not going to placate anyone. They're going to have the thought exactly what.
It's going to be an amazing match on SmackDown, and come WrestleMania, it's going to be barren, bald face. I can't. I just
no, and that's the thing. Is
that I'm really hoping that it's a swerve now, because if they're going to put on Angle versus Styles at a SmackDown, I'm really hoping Angle versus Corbin is a swerve for Mania.
I don't care. I don't care what anyone says. They're giving us these matches. They're doing Kurt Angle's retirement tour, whatever they're calling it. But then I still think that it's going to be Cena. It's gonna be.
I'm getting so mad. I'm sweating.
I mean, that could also be the Coronas.
Well, let's not count out the Mexican cerveza.
Cervezas. All right, let's take a look at the fatal four-way match. NXT Women's Championship again. Shayna Baszler, who's the standing champion here, versus Io Shirai, Bianca Belair, and Kairi Sane. I'll tell you what. Whether you like that 5-head or not, Shayna Baszler has done a really good job at being that just shit-eating heel who doesn't care and just really making people look good in her matches, even though she walks out with that belt.
I've come full circle. I've come full circle on her. Yeah, I've come full circle on her. When she gets to the main roster, I don't think she'll have success because she's not someone that Vince likes, but and initially that was my argument. Look, NXT is basically a feeder for the main roster, and there's no way that she has this kind of success. But let's look at what we have here as its own freestanding thing, and I think 100% Baszler has made a full tilt recovery from what I thought initially, which is that she was just awful. I think that she's a pretty good to great in-ring worker. I think that her gimmick works for her. And I think she's pretty good in the mic, too. That being said, there are also 3 other really good talents in this match. I think that the reason that this is a fatal 4-way match is so that Baszler can lose the title without eating the pin. Protecting Baszler is number 1 here, and I think it's going to be Io Shirai, the goddess of the sky.
Dude, honestly, I'm going to reciprocate that here. Shayna Baszler is doing, like I said, she's doing great things. She's been doing well with her character. I am lukewarm on Bianca Belair and Kairi Sane. I'm going to take Io Shirai as well. Because I could watch Io Shirai wrestle a broom.
Yep.
She is in this match, and I'm making bold statements here again. Io Shirai is the best wrestler in this match, bar none.
Character-wise, Kairi Sane's better. Bianca Belair's better. But I think, talent-wise, it goes to Io Shirai. Go ahead, Ransom.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you guys 110% on that, because I agree that Shayna Baszler doesn't eat the pin because it still makes her look strong. And I think I don't think those other 2 are gonna. Not that they're not women's champion material, but I just don't think that they're
already been champion. Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, it's just I don't think it's their time. I think
Belair's not there yet, and I think had Io Shirai not come in when she did, I think that this probably would have been Kairi Sane.
Yeah.
But because Io and they're a tag team too, so I think you can work a fun little dynamic there where they kind of one up, and they're friends outside the ring. Them and Asuka are all friends outside the ring as well, because they all come from Stardom.
Yeah.
So I mean.
Yeah. I'm agreeing with you guys. I think you guys are spot on.
All right. Now the last one, and in my opinion, it will be match of the night. The NXT Championship, the vacant NXT Championship match, 2 out of 3 falls. It's going to be Johnny Gargano, Johnny Wrestling versus Adam Cole, baby. This match, if it's not match of the night, I will eat my shoe. You can't. You have Adam Cole and Johnny Gargano, 2 wrestlers, in my opinion, who can do no wrong in the ring, doing 2 out of 3 falls, creating high drama the whole time. If you don't think this is match of the night, there is something wrong with you.
I guarantee that if McMahon was booking this, if this was on a McMahon show, you'd see something goofy like a pin, 30 seconds, and So he Vince McMahon could fuck up a wet dream. But go ahead, Ransom.
Wow, that's jeez. Okay, well, I thought I was wearing the heel pants, but all right, never mind. Yeah, got my heel Daisy Dukes on. Hello. What the hell are we even talking about? Are we doing a podcast right now?
Is this real life?
Is this real life or is this? You're out of your element, Donnie.
You can.
I don't see how this match isn't the best match at NXT Takeover or at WrestleMania. I don't know how any match at WrestleMania tops these two. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I can't think of a match that's on the WrestleMania card that's going to be better than Cole versus Gargano. I just don't think there is.
No.
Technical wise, no. I think
not even a little bit.
Drama wise, I think we could have a different discussion. But technical wise, this is going to be a heater, definitely.
I'm going to go on a limb and say even drama wise, because that's one thing that I think Johnny Gargano really, really does well, is to put on that drama of when he starts to get beat the crap out of in a match. Man, do people just want to see him succeed. I don't know what it is about Johnny Gargano, but people want to see him succeed. And I think even drama-wise, those two, without even having to touch the mic, will be able to put on technical A+, drama A+, and all-around entertainment. I think it's going to be an A+. Like I don't see how any WrestleMania match tops it at this year's card, unless they do something funky in the angle match. I don't know.
I'm hoping there's for me, there's nothing more to say. Like this match will speak for itself.
Oh yeah. I'm hoping. I'm torn though, because I'm hoping that oh boy, what was I going to say? Oh, I'm hoping that Cole wins the title because I'm such a big fan of Adam Cole. But on the other side of it, I'm okay if he doesn't, because maybe, just maybe, that means that after Mania, the Raw after Mania, maybe Cole will debut on the main roster. But then again, I'm kind of hoping that he doesn't, because it seems like no matter how good you are in NXT, you come up to the main roster, you're great for a cup of coffee, and then you're tagging with freaking Chad Gable. Look at Bobby Roode. Bobby Roode was a big, massive deal at NXT. He was glorious Bobby Roode. He comes to the WWE, the main roster. He's great for a cup of coffee, and happening? He's tagging with stupid freaking Chad Gable.
No, when they brought him up from NXT, he was awesome in NXT. He was like the modern day Ric Flair. They had
Chad
him nailed.
Gable is the 2019 version of Charlie Haas.
But then
once again, Chad Gable, that is at Triforce Ransom on Twitter.
Come get some, dum dum.
When they brought Bobby Roode up from NXT, Vince, he came in his first match. He came in and he was just white meat babyface, smiling, chuckling, the whole thing. Because Vince went, "Well, Bobby Roode's not over. Bobby Roode, it's the glorious thing. That's all." That's exactly what he did
right there. You pretty much nailed it.
That and so because of that, they never pulled the trigger on him. He was a way better heel.
So gun to your head, Ransom. Who wins this match, Cole or Gargano?
The zipper again.
Damn it.
I don't know. I say Cole.
Oh,
because I'm hoping that Triple H doesn't let Cole go up to the main roster just because he doesn't want to lose such an amazing talent to get thrown into a giant, stupid, festering pool of mediocrity.
I'm gonna have to echo him again. Adam Cole, because what's going to happen? Johnny Gargano wins that belt. Are they going to keep that belt on him, keep him at the top of NXT, waiting for Ciampa, who may or may not get better to the point where he can wrestle? Because with neck injuries like this is very much like Edge's neck injury. Like they said, if he didn't get that surgery to get fixed, one bad shot to his head or to his neck or shoulders or whatever, and he'd be paralyzed. Like that's the problem. Is like you don't know. So what do? Do you put the belt on Johnny, have him stay in NXT and wait it out and see if Tommaso Ciampa can come back and then finish the storyline they were going to finish in the first place? No, you send Johnny Gargano to main roster, have him up there, do his thing, and try and treat him better than you would a Bobby Roode or a lot of other call-ups that have been done. And you put the belt on Adam Cole so that he can fulfill what he said about 2019 having the Undisputed Era being draped in gold.
And
so I'm
so
going to be the
go off on this. Is I really hope that when the time comes, and frankly, I personally dread it, but when the time comes when Adam Cole comes up to the main roster, I hope they bring the entire Undisputed Era up to the main roster. I don't know why they wouldn't, but I really, really hope that they do. Well, that's
like I said, that works out real well for sanity.
That's just another thing. Like, you come from NXT where you're amazing and you put on these amazing matches, you have these amazing stories, and you just are phenomenal. You come up to the main roster and you're just donkey chow for these freaking stupid Randy Ortons and
So I'm going to be the lone dissenting opinion here. I think Johnny Gargano wins this match, and here's why.
All right.
This has been building for Johnny Gargano for 3+ years. The DIY thing, putting these two together and having them win the tag team titles, overcoming all odds, and then the breakup and the whole thing with Ciampa, and then like the whole heel turn for Gargano, and then getting back with Ciampa, and then Ciampa taking him out on NXT with them breaking up again. I think regardless of Ciampa's stake in this, so yes, Poot, you make a wonderful, great comment. You don't want to, there's no way that they're going to hold this belt on Gargano until Ciampa gets back. There's no way. But I think at the same time, this is like 3 years of a storyline that needs a resolution. And one of the biggest things that I have with WWE, that a lot of people have with WWE, is the lack of resolution in storylines. I love Adam Cole, and he's going to have his time to shine, be it NXT, be it, a SmackDown, Raw, whatever. I truly believe that he's the kind of talent that is going to be noticed, period. But Gargano, and he's, I feel the same about Gargano too. But, to me, they put way too much time into this storyline with Gargano chasing the title and just being a fingertip away. To me, this is it. But I'll officially I'm picking Gargano, but I'm going to echo Adam's sentiment about the tag team match here. The true winner is the WWE Universe, because this is going to be a clinic. This might be the best takeover match of all time.
I can see that.
This might be the match of 2019. Honestly, I know it's still early, but that's
Well, we've been talking a lot about WWE TakeOver, WrestleMania, and everything, and we got some more stuff to talk about outside of that. But why don't you thank our sponsor again, there, Beef?
I certainly will. So that's again, we definitely want to thank WrestleDeals.com for putting the sponsorship in with us and taking a shot at us. We're super excited about the partnership. And so again, that's WrestleDeals.com, and that is your home for violent deals and bloody good prices.
Yeah, I mean, and again, kudos to this guy for taking a shot in the dark on three nobodies, trying to start up a podcast and be moderately entertaining. I do. I hope this podcast turns out to be a great success. Not anything monetary wise. I'm not hoping to get anything out of this. I'm not hoping to get any sort of fortune or fame out of it. I'm just hoping to have a good time, and I'm hoping that anybody listening to this podcast has a good time as well. If we manage to entertain a handful of people, that I'm happy at the end of the day.
So
damn right.
What I agree wholeheartedly. I think we're having fun. I think we've already succeeded. I'm having a good time.
Yes, sir.
So what we've got coming up as well, on April 6th, so WrestleMania weekend here, is going to be the 13th annual G-1 Supercard here. And really quick, and this is a point that Beef wanted to make here, really quick running down the card, because this is a stacked card.
Yeah.
You have
I'll hit it. Yeah, you go ahead. But whatever.
You've got Jay White, who is the Switchblade Jay White, who is the IWGP Heavyweight Champion, taking on Kazuchika Okada, the Rainmaker himself. Then you also I can't wait to hear about this one. Then you have the Gorillas of Destiny, Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa, taking on Villain Enterprises, PCO and Brody King, for the ROH World Tag Team Champions and the IWGP winner take all in that one. Tajiri Ishimura taking.
Nope. Taji.
Is it
Taji Ishimori?
Oh man,
yeah,
I need
Taji Ishimori versus Dragon Lee versus Bandito.
Man, I need to get some glasses. Good God, I'm an old man. Three-way match for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion. Then on the pre-card here, you have the Honor Rumble, which will be a great time. Then you also have Jay Lethal, who is the ROH World Champion, taking on Marty Scurll and Matt Tavern in a three-way ladder match. So that's going to be great. I can't wait. I really hope the villain walks out on that one. I don't know if he will, but I'd love to see it. Then you have, for the Never Openweight, winner-take-all Never Openweight Champion and ROH World Television Champion, you have Will Ospreay, who's the Never Weight Open Champion, versus Jeff Cobb, who is the ROH TV Champion. Then you have Bully Ray taking on a to-be-determined opponent here in a New York street fight, so that's going to be an old man fight. Rush versus Dalton Castle in a singles match. And what's the last one here? I can't see.
Mayu Awatani versus
there we go.
Who knows at this point
for
the Ring of Honor World Championship, Women of Honor World Champion.
So
I'll talk a little bit about this. This is kind of my wheelhouse. Yeah, so this is kind of my wheelhouse. I'm a big, and I always have been a big indie guy. Support. By the way, I'll mention this too. Support your local indies. You know, whether it be IWC, whether it be Imagine Wrestling in Altoona, whether it be Phoenix Pro. You know, get out there. If you see a show, if you see a flyer on a Saturday night at your local high school gym, VFW, whatever, get out there and support it, man. It's a blast. That's some of the best memories of my life was supporting KCW in the old Altoona Armory. So,
dude, and who did we see wrestle in KCW? Who is
well, first of all, Jason Gorey, who's an amazing talent right now on the indie scene. But I think specifically you're looking at Sterling James Keenan, a.k.a. Corey Graves.
Yep.
Lots of great – and, I mean, we saw the Sandman there. So, yeah, I mean, you know, get out there. Yes, there's going to be some – you know, there may be some old guys who are out of shape that may not, you know, deserve to be there, but I guarantee
easy. I'm an old guy that's out of shape. All right.
Well, but I guarantee you this: you will see some amazing talents. DJ Z, by the way, just signed a contract reportedly with WWE. Wow. He's another guy. He started in IWC. I remember seeing him in IWC Clearfield whenever he was doing like the whole Rick the Model Martel gimmick. Anyway, nice. So this is kind of my this is kind of my wheelhouse. So I'm very geeked up for this card. I don't think it's going to take a run at TakeOver or at Mania, but I think it's going to be very entertaining. You know, so we're going to keep track of the standings for like, you know, who gets all these picks right and everything. I don't think it's fair to do it for this because some of us may not be as, you know, knowledgeable, and even some of these guys in the cards, I'm not sure, but we'll still talk about it. So, starting at the bottom of the card, real quick, Poot. I want to get back to something you said about Bully Ray.
Yeah.
About the old man fight.
Yeah.
Bully Ray is Bubba Ray Dudley's best work ever. I loved him as a Dudley boy. Bully Ray is an amazing heel, and he can still go. So honestly, I don't know who it's going to end up being. I know who I want it to be. I want it to be Minoru Suzuki. And if you haven't seen Minoru Suzuki wrestle,
good God,
Google it, man. YouTube it. He is a blast to watch, and he throws chops and kicks and slaps, and oh man, he is just a workhorse. He's like 50. He might even be like 60 some odd years old. He's easily one of my top 5 favorite wrestlers right now. But I'd love to see.
If it is Minoru Suzuki, I definitely take back my comment.
Yeah, right.
Like 100%.
Ironically, it would be an old man fight at that point, but it would still be off the friggin' chain.
Dude, you know what? Every night before I go to bed, I check under my bed for Minoru Suzuki's.
Yeah, right? Check your freaking closet, you know. Don't get him wet. He might multiply. Don't get him in sunlight. I mean, for God's sakes, this dude, I used to feel like the only guy that I could walk down. I mean, you know, a lot of people could kick my ass, obviously. But there used to be one guy who I'd never want to see in a dark alley, and that was James Harrison. He scared the piss out of me, just the way that he looks at people. Minoru Suzuki is right up there with James Harrison. Like, if I saw him coming at me, I'd walk the other way. It doesn't matter if I'd have to go 5 miles around. I'm walking away from him. Although I hear he's a real great guy to, see at cons and stuff.
Yeah.
So, but real quick. So there are 4 big matches that I want to talk about. So the tag team match I think is blown because they had the Briscoes with the Raw World titles, and I think that the Briscoes versus God would have been amazing. I don't know enough about Villain Enterprises other than they're affiliated with Marty's Girl, so that's gonna be good. The junior heavyweight title match, Taiji Ishimori, the Bone Soldier, versus Dragon Lee versus Bandito. Bandito's another guy who's up and coming, who's really, really good. Dragon Lee's a blast to watch, but he's also pretty haphazard. He's the guy that took out Takahashi and caused him to have to vacate the junior title and has cost him over a year of his career at this point. So that's a bummer. But bottom line is if you're looking for something to watch on Saturday night, subscribe to New Japan World. It's like $9.79 a month. It's worth it for the 1 month just to see this card.
You can also find out a fight. I think the Fight app.
True. Yeah, or the Row subscription.
Yeah.
So I'm sick and hell of fucking Okada. Okada and Tanahashi.
Here we go. Settle in.
Ship them fucking off because I am so tired. Here's the thing about wrestling fans, and you know who you are when you're listening to this. If you're not a fan of what's been done with John Cena and Roman Reigns, then you should not have one kind word about Kazuchika Okada or Hiroshi Tanahashi because that's the same shit. They are barreling these two faces down your throat. Tanahashi's had a great career. He brought New Japan through a lot of bad times. Good for him. But step the fuck aside, all right? He should not have been Kenny Omega. It should have been fucking Switchblade Jay White. And Okada, I don't get it. He's a good worker. I wouldn't call him great. He's a good worker. He has entertaining matches, and he's got a fun gimmick. He's like an 87 million time champ. He's held the belt for 15 years running over in New Japan. I'm tired of him. I'm tired of Okada. If White doesn't win, then it's a fucking miscarriage of justice.
Oh, my goodness.
But one more real quick note here.
Okay.
What I think may be a runner-up for match of the weekend might be Will Ospreay versus Jeff Cobb.
Yeah.
If you've never seen either of these two guys, saddle in. Jeff Cobb's another guy like the War Raiders or like Killian Dane, who is a big dude, but he moves like guys on 205 Live.
Jeff Cobb is ridiculous. Like when you see he's Ransom. He's like Rhino if Rhino moved like a cruiserweight.
Oh dear heavens.
Yeah. But
that's a murder ball.
Yeah. So okay, so is that your take for before we get to our little question thing that we have going on? What is your match of the weekend? Is that your call?
It's not that. That's going to be close. Match of the weekend. It's tough to say, especially with Mania kind of still floating out there, because there are some potential really good matches at Mania. I think the women are going to kill it. I think that Rollins and Lesnar is going to be good. I think that Kofi and KO and Bryan and Mustafa Ali and whatever combination that they have here, I think it's going to be good. But honestly, I think that the best match comes from TakeOver. And we have 3 top-tier candidates from TakeOver. We have the tag team title match, we have Dunn and Walter, and we have Gargano and Cole. Gun to my head, I'm saying Gargano and Cole, but I think Dunn versus Walter is very close.
For me, I'll make the bold statement. I don't need to go on about it. It's gonna be Cole and Gargano, bar none. Walter and Pete Dunne is gonna be a good one, but man, if you think that any other match during this weekend is going to be the match of the weekend, you're crazy. That's all I'll say on that. So what about you, Ransom?
Mine's a toss-up. I can't honestly make. I can't make a decision between the two. I along with you guys, I want to say it's going to be Cole and Gargano. But I think it's also going to be a toss-up between the NXT tag team title match. I could see those two matches over anything in the entire weekend, making me scoot up and sit on the edge of my seat the most out of any of the other matches. And frankly, and I'll be honest, at the end of the day, I don't care which team, which person wins or loses. I wholeheartedly agree that between those two matches, the winners are going to be the fans.
All right.
I don't care who walks away with the belt. We're going to win.
All right. Fair enough. Well, so one of the other things that we decided to do on here was a little bit of a trivia. Ask each other some questions and see if we can stump each other and see what the breadth of our knowledge is here. We're calling it Hot Tag Trivia. Now, we're going to ask questions. I don't know the order here. I'm going to let Beef the Legend take care of that. But we'll see if we can stump each other here. So, Beef, what's the order going to be?
Yes. So what we are looking at,
yes.
Yes.
Oh, I mean, I haven't really kind of fleshed it out. So, I'll ask Adam a question. Damn it! I promise we will get this right on the next podcast.
I am in complete confidence that it'll never happen.
I will ask Ransom a question. Ransom will ask Poot the Bard. Poot the Bard will ask Beef the Legend. Let's lead with Ransom versus Poot the Bard. Go right ahead.
Well, here's the thing. Unfortunately, I apologize. I'm going to call an audible. This is more going to be along the line of a Ransom asking Poot and Beef. We're going to see which one of you guys can come up with the answer first.
Big Swerve, go ahead.
I will lead off with this. The question is, name this pay-per-view.
All right.
Okay.
And it's going to be a foregone conclusion. It's going to be a Royal Rumble because all the questions have to do with the Royal Rumble match.
All right.
So I want to know what Royal Rumble this is.
Okay.
At one point in time in this particular Royal Rumble, Owen Hart begins to come down to the ring, but before he can make it to the ring, he's ambushed by Jeff Jarrett, who is the NWA champion, and his manager, Jim Cornette. At which point in time, JR proceeds to say over the microphone, that Jim Cornette is a stain on the underwear of life. Which every time I hear it, makes me pee my pants.
All right. I'm going to say it's...
We watched this. We watched this no more than 2 months ago.
I know. I think
Do you know already? You know?
No, I don't.
I thought I would have you stumped.
No.
I'm not certain of the year. I have an idea. But I'm not certain.
I think it's Rumble 96.
So I think it's in that same time frame. I believe it is one of the Michaels Rumbles. So I think it's 95.
Okay, well, we're going to continue on with the question.
Oh.
In this particular Royal Rumble, Cactus Jack enters number 1. Chainsaw Charlie enters number 2. And both of these two gentlemen proceed to place a trash can over the head of an up-and-coming The Rock and beat the trash can that is over his head with chairs until The Rock falls out of the ring. Not over the top rope, mind you, but out of the ring.
Wait, so this is... Wait. So this is the same Rumble?
This is the same Rumble.
It might be 98. It might be 98.
Oh, let me get 97 in there. Yeah, I think because that's a weird time frame.
Yeah.
Well, if this is any, I'm not saying that either one of you two are wrong on your last guesses, but hopefully this will get it. This will get it for one of you.
All right.
This is the Royal Rumble where one Mick Foley appeared as Cactus Jack, Mankind, and Dude Love
98.
all in the same Rumble.
98.
98 is correct.
Yeah.
Who won 98?
That was 98. Oh, who won 98?
Austin?
Yeah, that was Austin.
I think.
Yeah.
Yep, that was Mr. Steve Austin.
Yep.
Well done. I thought I was going to have to keep going. You guys got it quick.
Nope. 98. All right, so then I'm asking Beef.
You got it.
All right, Beef, I got a good one. At WrestleMania 10,
no.
At WrestleMania 10, Earthquake took on Adam Bomb, okay? Now, the reason that Earthquake took on one Adam Bomb was because of an injury to his former opponent, who was supposed to be Earthquake's opponent originally.
Oh. Damn.
I have no
I actually didn't know. I didn't even know that wasn't supposed to be Adam Bomb.
Nope, wasn't supposed to be Adam Bomb.
Can I interject real quick while Beef is thinking?
Sure.
Did Adam Bomb go to WCW?
Yes.
Yep. He was part of Chronic. Him and Crush were Chronic.
Yep.
Who was he in WCW? Was he Brian Adams?
Brian Clark.
Brian Clark.
Brian Clark. Was Brian Adams Crush?
Crush.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ah, right.
Oh, God, I want to say Typhoon because that makes sense to me. It's too early for Vader, I think. Shit.
Now remember, Adam Bomb was put in there because of an injury. This person suffered an injury before Mania back in January, and this was 1994. Okay. So
Yikes,
who was it supposed to be?
Sid Justice.
No.
No, that's not Sid Justice. I don't even know who Earthquake would be feuding with at that point. The only thing I can think of is a natural disaster. So I'll say Typhoon.
Nope, it was Ludwig Borga.
Oh,
yeah, there you go.
Wow, talk about your throwback.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I
Lord.
threw you right under the bus there.
That was a hell of a question.
All right, so go ahead, throw Adam under the bus now.
Oh, I'm confident that this is going to be nowhere near my ability to answer. Nowhere near it.
No, I mean it's up there. So
WrestleMania 1, who was sitting in the front row of the crowd? I don't know, man.
Oh, it was definitely Garth Brooks looking guy.
Yeah, the correct answer is that jackass with that fucking green smiling face shirt with his tan fucking head. And that is at Beef the Legend 13. At me, bro. Come at me, bro. Stop sitting in the middle of the fucking front row. We're all thinking it. We're all fucking thinking it.
Every pay-per-view. Every pay-per-view, we watch every Raw, every pay. We're just like, who's this Garth Brooks looking motherfucker? Who's that guy?
I'm sorry, fucking T-shirt man.
Every freaking event.
T-shirt man, my ad is actually Beef the Legend 42. At me, bro. I'm begging you. We'll have you on the fucking podcast so you can answer all these questions. Just fucking stop, man. So my question for you, Mr. Ransom.
Oh, please be easy.
Well, it's...
Who went by the name the Texas Rattlesnake?
Yeah, right. So there are some people in history. Bockwinkel. There are some people in history who have absolutely carried the company through some tough times, and those people always tend to headline WrestleMania more than others. So this is a two-part question. There are two, and this is there's kind of a backdoor answer to this, but I'm going to give you straight up. There are two wrestlers who hold the most WrestleMania main events. Who are they?
Yikes. If one of these answers is Bret Hart, I'm gonna climb through the phone and I'm gonna poop down your throat. Wow. I hate him.
Wow.
Hurtful.
I'm gonna say Stone Cold. Is that a yes? Is that a no?
I'm not gonna tell you until you give me all the answers.
Son of a piece of shit. Oh,
hurtful.
Main evented WrestleMania?
Mm-hmm.
Yikes.
If he doesn't get these right, can I take a shot at him?
You certainly can.
All right.
I feel like the second one would be an old dude. But I don't. Yikes. Part of me wants to say The Undertaker, but I don't know if headlined.
I will give you a hint. One of these is a no-brainer. The other one makes a lot of sense after fact, in hindsight.
Is it
Sid? Is that what you're
probably
gonna
say?
Say?
No. Sid Vicious Justice Psycho. I don't know. I'm gonna feel like I'm a dummy because these two guys are probably from the same like genre or whatever, but I feel like I want to say Stone Cold and like a Triple H.
All right.
Okay.
Can I take a shot?
Stone Cold or a I don't know.
So that is not the correct answer. I'm not telling you that they're both wrong. I'm just telling you that's not the correct answer. Poot, what do you think?
All right. I'm gonna say I'm going to say John Cena and The Rock.
Poot, you're way off.
Oh.
So the most WrestleMania main events is a tie between Hulk Hogan, who basically capitalized all of them in the single digits except for one, and Triple H.
Oh, damn it.
So, and here's what's kind of dicey. Hulk Hogan technically has 8, but I don't count that fiasco at WrestleMania 9 when he beat Yokozuna because yes, it's an official match, but I don't feel that that's a main event match because it wasn't built.
It was a main event. It was that whole Mania was a main event clusterfuck. That's what it was.
Both Hogan and Triple H have 7 WrestleMania main events. So, and I was fucking shocked whenever I did the math and I saw that Triple H had 7 of them. But then I'm like, oh, well, that makes fucking perfect sense. So the second part of this question is, and so this makes it a little bit easier, who has the most consecutive WrestleMania main events? Consecutive meaning calendar year.
Oh, Hogan.
Roman Reigns. Oh,
Hogan.
I will take that. I will take that answer from both of you, and you're both correct. It is Hulk Hogan and Roman Reigns. Hulk Hogan had 5, 6, 7, and 8, and Roman Reigns, of course, has had 31, 32, 33, and 34.
Look at that. Together, we're a smart person.
Yeah.
All right. Teamsmanship.
We can make brain happen.
All right. We've been going on for the better part of 2 hours here, fellas. It's been a good one.
Yeah, dude. But
there's something that Beef came up with that we're gonna do.
Always
end the podcast on a positive note. This is Poot the Bard's swan song. I'm gonna talk about some positive things in wrestling. Now, can I go ahead on my
with this segment.
Can I go ahead on my little statement?
You go ahead, Poot.
All right. So whether you're happy with what?
I say no.
Oh, well, you shut up over there.
I disagree with this segment.
Listen, you go ahead. All right, it's ruined. Goodbye. All right, so
it's over. You ruined it.
First swan song. You've done it.
You ruined it.
Next week, Riddler versus Bard. All right. All right. That's going to be the running thing. Just wrong names for Fauntleroy over there. All right.
I hate the both of you.
I hate you too. All right. All right. So whether or not you're happy with the way that WWE books things on their main roster, the misdoings, and it's making you feel bad about being a wrestling fan. You're going like, man, this is depressing. You got to remember that we've talked about. I mean, and I kind of personally in my mind, I know it's all part of the WWE umbrella, but NXT, we talked about, G-1, Raw, and New Japan Pro Wrestling. You have AEW that's going to be coming up here. And like even the small indies are doing great work. There is good wrestling out there. This right now, if you were a wrestling fan, a lapsed wrestling fan, as I like to say, and you are like, you know what, why would I watch wrestling? I watched that when I was a kid. It was dumb. Listen, wrestling now, this right now is the Renaissance, the best time to get back into wrestling. You have talents out there like the Young Bucks, like Adam Cole, like the War Raiders. You have a lot of the guys out on the indie scene doing great work. You have things even down in AAA. You have guys that are doing stuff, and they're going to be performing for AEW. You have the Lucha Brothers. There's so much good out there in the wrestling world. If you sit there and you go, you're a WWE fan, and you focus on that, and you see the missed bookings, you see some of the politicking that they do, and you're not happy about that, looking at actual product, in-ring storytelling, this is one of the best times in my opinion, in history to be a wrestling fan. They're doing better work in ring, more exciting work, more entertaining work than ever. So, if you're kind of down on the product, you're down on this, you're down on that, stretch out a little bit. Go check out New Japan. Go check out Raw. Get those subscriptions and watch, because it will reinvigorate you, and it will make you as big of a fans as I think all of us have become. We've had our ups and downs keeping track of the product and keeping being fans. But this right now is the best time to be a wrestling fan. So, keep your head up and watch some of the product. You might have heard us talking about. It's like, well, who are some of these guys that are on G1 Supercard? Watch it. Watch them. You might find one of your favorite wrestlers. I mean, I was introduced to Marty Scurll, the villain. I love him. He's like an evil version of Bob Backlund. It's great. Back when Bob Backlund was in his prime, that is. You know, like, so that's really my swan song, is that, you know, wrestling is at an apex again. It's fun, it's entertaining, and there's good storytelling and good wrestling. So there you go.
I'm sorry, I dozed off after the word Renaissance.
I couldn't agree with you more, Poot.
I thought you were going to say I can't.
Positive note.
Right there, you go. Well, this has been a really good first episode. I'm excited, man. This is great.
Jury's out.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Jury's out. Wow. Always the heel pants.
Don't go throwing around words like this has been a really good first episode until, you know, you see how many viewerships we get and how many times freaking Chad Gable shows up at my doorstep.
Oh, he will. He will. Don't worry. He'll at you, bro.
And you know what?
I'll cut him. I'll cut him right in his face. Right in his jabroni jobber-eating face.
I'll close on this little bit of breaking news. Guess who just retired from the NFL who might be showing up at the Andre the Giant Battle Royal?
Who's that?
Gronkowski.
He sure did.
Who?
Rob Gronkowski.
Oh, no.
I'd put money down that you see him at WrestleMania. I don't know what capacity, dinner. But I will put money down that for some reason freaking Rob Gronkowski shows up and that other jackass that used to be a football player who sucked it up in WWE shows up, and the other
fridge?
dummy who I'm gonna cut you both in the face, Maven.
Maven.
The dude the last time Gronkowski was on, he was all broing it up for a while and then he disappeared.
Oh, he was part of the hype bros.
Mojo.
Yeah, Mojo Rawley.
That's it. Yeah, that cockbite.
That cock.
Hey, well, you know what? This will be a great talk to have in just under 2 weeks on Saturday, April the 4th at 4 p.m. when we do our Facebook live cast, which you can watch your favorite Pittsburgh podcasters, Pittsburgh Piledriver podcasters, and look at our ugly mugs.
Name of the podcast.
Flubbed. It's all good. But yes, Saturday, April the 6th.
Beef, you want to give us a rundown of where people can check us out, social media, and all that good stuff?
Oh, good Lord. Yes, sir. It is on Twitter at Pitt Piledriver. That's Pitt Piledriver. On Facebook, you can search for Pittsburgh Piledriver Podcast. We don't have an Instagram yet because, again, ugly mugs. And then, of course, we are on YouTube with Pittsburgh Piledriver Podcast. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. We will be uploading content as much as we can. No promises. Like us on Facebook. We will be sharing the live feed exclusively there and probably through our personal accounts as well because, get them viewers. Like us on Twitter. Fire us some questions at us on YouTube, on Twitter, on Facebook. Let us know something that you'd like to hear us talk about on that live broadcast, and we'll field some questions. Have a good time with it.
And Beef, what's your Twitter handle?
It is at Beef the Legend 42.
Mr. Pootsky, what is yours?
It's at Poot the Bard.
Oh.
And by the way, Chad Gable, again, that's at Triforce Ransom.
Yeah. Hey, Mr. Gable, you'll figure it out. I have 3 followers. I'm following nobody because I just signed up for stupid Twitter when this Pittsburgh Piledriver calamity happened.
The PPC?
The PPC. Suck it.
Pittsburgh Piledriver calamity.
Show up. We'll play a game of chess. We'll drink some Coronas. I'll punch you in the PP and send you on your way.
Oh, it's exactly what you do when I come visit.
That's right. I'll give you the old Shinsuke Nakamura 1, 2, 3, kapow!
All right. Hey, guys. This was a lot of fun. And, again, make sure to look at our Facebook live stream. It'll be a good time. And for Beef the Legend and Fauntleroy Heel Pants and myself, Poot the Bard, have a good night.
Don't even plug my name.
Good night, good day, and good evening.